On today's episode, we installed one of the best Fender chop kits for the jeepjl on the market today from American Adventure Lab, so stay tuned. What's going on, guys? So I got another video for the Rubicon today and finally got my American Adventure Lab high-rise Fender brackets, which I was super excited about, and I think these are literally the best looking ones out there on the market right now, and these guys have hit it out of the park. Some of them don't even have like the turn signal option. They just give you like a little dot light or whatever, like the little eagle eye. So these guys have come up with their own lighting. They include an actual plug that matches your Jeep. I guess due to some of the popular demand, they added another mounting point. If you do want to be one of those guys that puts a bolt through his fender, you can do that with these, but you don't necessarily have to do it. If you don't have painted fenders, and if you don't care, like if you got the black fenders not painted, you might not care putting a little hole in your fender here with a little bolt, maybe painted black so it matches. I don't want to do that because I want to keep it nice and clean. So I am super excited, and here's the best part. So I guess they teamed up with the JL Taser, the new update on the JL Taser, and I'll post a link in the description how to do the whole process. Essentially with the update, you're not going to get hyper flash or light out warning or whatnot going to these, because that's been taken care of. Now if you don't have the JL Taser, that's also not an issue, because American Adventure Lab, they do have a bulb out fix that you could purchase along with your lights. Now the reason I am doing this is because I have shown you in the past when we were at the dunes having this thing fully flexed out, I did get a little bit of tire rub right here, and it wasn't much, and it wasn't something that was really bothering me or causing any concerns, but basically this whole edge of the tire right here was pressed up against this plastic right here, and my whole goal was to eliminate any touching whatsoever. So this is the perfect deal for that. In the back, I am going to be taking these fenders off too and removing the inner fender. The back issue was this little plastic piece that sits back here that I have removed so far. Under heavy compression, it would touch and it would rip it up. We actually took the Jeep yesterday through on the dunes real quick just to flex it out, what I need to do to get it not to rub with these 37s. I gotta take these little bumper cover plastic covers off, because that's the only reason, the only thing that it rubs is on here a little bit at full compression. Mopar decided to use these little plastic rivets. Every time you have to remove it to get access to the inner fender, you have to either replace these plastic rivets or come up with some sort of other solution. And here on the passenger side, I stopped bothering with them. I am basically just using the Christmas trees to hold it, and I do get some rattling from the wind. So I want to eliminate this whole headache and have something that looks a little bit more decent. I am going to be putting in Smitty built ones front and back, and I'll do that in the next Jeep video that I post. Let's start ripping out these fenders. All right, so to the tire right now, I have about 7¼ inches of travel here, and on the inside of the fender, 7½ inches of clearance to the inside. So we're gonna see what the difference is afterwards, and I'm gonna be removing everything piece by piece. The first thing I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna chop these rivets off, because we are no longer gonna need them. So So there's two 10mm ones that are holding it and an 8mm. And another one is right here. All right, so I've seen a couple of people actually just yank on the fender at this point to take it off, which I would highly suggest not doing that. Get yourself long nose needle pliers and these little white tabs. The best thing to do is squeeze them from the inside so that they pop out versus breaking them. And you literally just have to lightly press them and they just pop off. Alright, so the very last clip that's right here, it is kind of hard to get into through the side of the fender, but if your needle nose are long enough, you shouldn't have any issues reaching the sweet spot. Before I pop the fender off, I am disconnecting the factory turn signal and the fender is off. I gotta say, it looks pretty sweet without the fender even. I should run just the bracket and no fender. That'd be pretty funny. There's a bunch of T25s in here that I have to take out. All right, once I have the wire nice and free, I'm gonna go ahead and remove this backing bracket. And we're literally peeling this out. And there it is. So the next step is to cut all of these tabs off. And we are also going to be cutting this one in the corner too. So after you cut it, you can come back and sand these down so it's perfectly nice and smooth. All right, so I got the first bolt in so I could still get my fender on. Before you do plug it in, they do include dielectric grease. To the tire, I have exactly 9.5 now, and on the inside, I have 11 3/4. That's a huge improvement, and I know this is all open right now. We're going to take care of that in the next video. So if you look at it side by side, it looks 10 times better besides just the functionality of it. In my opinion, I think the Jeep should have been like that right from the factory. So before we jump to the backside of the Jeep, I do have to mention a sponsored product as it helps me support my channel and bring more content to you guys. So Joy Todas reached out to me and asked if I could do a review on their Jeep windshield shade umbrella. And yes, you heard me right. And I thought exactly the same thing that you just did. And after unboxing it, taking out of the nice storage case, and deploying the umbrella, it actually looked promising. Besides looking like a mobile mini satellite device that a conspiracy theorist would claim that he could contact ETs with, this is actually a really useful product. The installation on it is also super easy. It has a nice little V cutout for the rear view mirror, and all you have to do is deploy your satellite, put it on your windshield, and lower down your sun visors. And that's it. It stays in place, and your Jeep is now ready to sit in the middle of the scorching hot desert at Area 51 while you're getting chased by men in black. You can rest assured your Jeep's going to be protected from the sun and be able to stay in contact with a mothership. But in all seriousness, it actually fits really good, and it has complete coverage of the windshield, and I'm really excited to try this out on a hot day. We haven't hit those scorching hot weathers yet, but I'm sure this will come in handy. And then I thought to myself, a lot of you guys actually tow your Jeep behind an RV. So this is something that definitely could be put on while you're towing it, or even when you're leaving your Jeep at the campsite for a day or two while you're out exploring or doing other things like hiking. As in my case, when I tow the Can-Am with the Jeep to the dunes, I usually leave my Jeep sitting there for the whole day, sitting in the sun. And it's also available for the JL and the JK. And also taking it out and putting it away is super simple. Just lift your sun visors and pull out. It's as simple as that. Wrap it up and put it in the back. And for the price of a water bottle at a rave, it is definitely a great deal to protect your Jeep's interior from getting probed by the sun. So check them out. The link is in the description, and in all seriousness, I actually really do like this. And now, back to our video. Alright guys, so for the rear, I'm going to show you how to remove it without even taking your fender off, because removing the rear fender is a little bit more complicated. Those white clips inside the fender, you can't access all of them from inside the fender. So first thing I'm going to do, chop all these rivets off. Once you have all the rivets chopped off, then you're gonna have to remove all of the Christmas tree plugs, and there is a ton of them in here. All right, so once I got that little rivet out of there, this little white bracket is barely holding on, so that thing just comes out. And it's the same exact thing with this little guy. Break that little rivet that's on the inside. And this bracket just pops out. All right, so the question is, how do we remove this now without taking off the entire fender, especially since we can't access on the inside here to release those little white clips. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna carefully cut this first and we can start pulling. So once I got the back loosened up, I'm gonna go ahead and go to the front, do the same thing. And there it is. And there you have it. The rears are a lot easier than the fronts are. The reason I am doing this versus buying aftermarket fenders, these little white clips, they're super cheap. You can get them online. If you hit your fender on something, the first thing that's gonna go are those little white clips. So yes, your fender's gonna break off. You can throw it in the back of your Jeep, buy some white clips, put your fender back on. Now, if you're going with an aftermarket fender that has a tubular design or some sort of different setup, if you take a tree, a rock, or something to your fender, you're pretty much forcing that steel into your body, causing more damage than you really need to. So these fenders are, in a way, with those white clips, are sacrificial to protect your actual body from damage if you do end up taking something on it. Now, I agree there's some really cool looking fenders out there with all sorts of LED options and all sorts of things, but if you take a hit on your fender flare in the front, you are actually going to cause damage with all the metal fenders to your actual body. That's why the American Adventure Lab kit is absolutely perfect, and I think this is probably one of the best mods that I did to the Jeep so far. Now I am fully ready to install my aluminum fender liners inside the wheel wells. This is how good the Jeep looks right now that the local wildlife just came to visit and check it out. So if you guys want to run your factory plastic fender liners, you can totally do that with this kit. You can actually trim your plastic fender liners and run them with the inner fender removed. So there you guys have it. Check out American Adventure Lab. The link is in the description. They feature a lot of great products for storage, for organization in the back of your Jeep, and I absolutely love this company. Their products are top-notch quality-wise, and they absolutely earned a customer for life. So if you guys liked the video, make sure to hit the like button, smash that subscribe button, hit the notification bell to get notified when I post a new video. Make sure to check out my Instagram. I love talking to you guys on Instagram and discussing Jeep stuff and Can-Am stuff and off-road stuff. And even if you guys just want to share your mom's favorite muffin recipe, I'm down. Hit me up. And if you guys want to say hi to me in person, I'm going to be at the Silver Lake Sand Dune Jeep Invasion June 4th through 6th. So don't be shy and bring those muffins. And I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Later.